want to talk about discipline. And so with discipline and how important it is in your life. So you have your discipline and you have your emotions, right? Or your feelings. What are you feeling today? Do you feel like going to the gym? Do you feel like going to work? Do you feel like starting that business, And so discipline, of course, is going to be like, no matter what you feel, you're going to go for it, right? Because you're disciplined. And even if you don't feel like going to the gym, you're still showing up and you're still getting that workout in. And sometimes those end up being the best workouts ever, the ones that you don't feel like going. And so let's just start from like the bottom. So I'll just start first of all with how discipline and confidence can also, go together. So if you feel like you're not that confident, then discipline can actually help build that for you, right? And really it's because you're not breaking promises to yourself. And that's like the biggest thing, is you're not breaking promises to yourself and you know that you can handle it. So when I was younger, I've always lacked confidence when I was young, right? I never felt like the best me, right? And it was because I was very inconsistent with things. I one time tried out for a basketball team. This was in elementary, right? But I mean, it starts when you're young. But I tried out for a basketball team in elementary and I got on the team. And then I quit. I joined choir. And then I quit. And then going into middle school, I joined the football team. And then I quit. And so it makes sense to me why, in certain points in my life, I was not confident and I wasn't obtaining the goals that I wanted to obtain, right? I was just, not consistent. I wasn't disciplined, and it was because I just maybe didn't feel like going that day. And then maybe a week later, I regretted not doing it. I think I regretted not joining the basketball team after a few weeks. I was like, what was I thinking? And I was already hard on myself as it was. I've always been a hard person on myself. I've always gotten to the point where it's I used to make YouTube videos a long time ago on an old channel. And I mean, I was doing really good. I would play guitar, whatever. I teach people to play guitar. And I just didn't think I was good enough. But I look back now and I see all the comments and all the people that I've helped. And I'm like, wow, imagine if I kept that up, right? And I started that in middle school. So that was a long time ago. I can only imagine if I've been creating content for that many years. But, everything is different. We all have our own path. God already has our path paved out, and then we grow and we learn, right? So that's the whole point of life, is we're gaining wisdom as we age. So I think that I am where I need to be, right? And you are where you need to be. But if you feel deep inside that you are built for more, it's because you are. And if you're unsatisfied with where you're at right now, it's because you are meant for more and you do have a big purpose here on this earth. And, you have to just go for it. So, back then I wasn't disciplined. I quit everything. I had low self-esteem. I just didn't stick to anything. Speed forward, I believe I was maybe 19. I'm 29 now. I was 19 and I got introduced to the gym. And so I started to work out with a friend. And, I went with her here and there. It was Planet Fitness. It was just, just an introduction to fitness. But then she stopped and I came to, two different pathways. I could stop and wait for her and, never go any further or lose the progress that I gained. Well, going a couple weeks, 3 times, whatever I went with her. Or I could go in my direction and I could sign up for the gym and I could begin my own journey of discipline and self-mastery, right? So I did. I chose the path of getting my own membership. And that was actually the best decision I've ever made, because I now have, 10 years of fitness experience, maybe 11 years. And I love it. And it's become the foundation to my life, other than God, of course. God is the real foundation. But, I'm talking about the world here. So it started with fitness for me. And at one point it became my therapy, right? But we don't always feel like going to the gym. So that's where our feelings come in. That's where our emotions come in. We don't always feel like going. Sometimes we have bad days. Sometimes just life is getting in the way. We're stressed. We wake up, we're tired. And if we follow that every single time, then you're constantly letting yourself down. How do you expect to gain confidence like that? how do you expect to believe in yourself? If you know deep down inside that you can't trust yourself to wake up the next morning, to go where you need to be and to do what you need to do, then how are you going to trust yourself to accomplish anything? How are you going to trust yourself to be, the perfect husband, the perfect wife? How are you going to trust yourself to, anything? And that's where your confidence comes in, right? With discipline. And so it started there. It started with, boom, 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 just going to the gym. And then finally, I learned how to diet, right? And so there was one point, actually, I think I was 23, where I had paid $700 to get a personal trainer certification. And I studied through the majority of it, but I never completed it. And I was still in that position where I just didn't have the confidence that I could have if I stuck to what I needed to do. And it's just because I didn't feel like studying. And this is why feelings and emotions are your enemy when it comes to, progression, because you're not going to wake up every day feeling motivated. You're not going to wake up every day feeling like it's the best day in the world. And the hard days are the days that are going to push you back if you allow them to, and you're never going to get where you want to be. And so this is why discipline is so important, because you're going to do it regardless of what is going on in your life. And of course, there are some things that, you can make exceptions for. And if you've gone, let's just say 99% of the time you've committed to your goals, that 1% of the time that you kind of, maybe you hurt your back or something, you know what I mean? Or you had a family passing, God forbid. But anything like that in that level, then, when you take the day off, it's not like you skipped 50% of the time, and your progress is not going to be lost because you've gone 99% of the time and you've done everything that you need to do. And for me, that's where I gained that discipline with the gym. I eventually rolled into the discipline with my diet, which I think was maybe about 24, 25. And then I ended up, starting my own business, which is my real estate. And I felt super confident that I could do it because I had showed myself with fitness that I can stay disciplined no matter what I feel like. I showed myself that I can accomplish the body that I want to get, without disappointing myself. And once I was able to get to that level on that, I was able to tell myself, I could do this. I can start my business. I can market. I can, door knock. I can make my cold calls. I can do whatever it is, because I know that it just takes the work to get there. And actually, I even went to school for a couple of years and I got my 2-year degree. I was going for business finance, and same thing. I told myself I would get all A's, and I did. I got all A's except for one class that was a super basic class. I forgot to turn the paperwork in, and literally all I had to do was put my name and my date, and then I forgot to sign something, or I don't even know. And I got a B in that class compared to my business, statistics and all those and accountings, and I was like, what the heck? But I had a 3.9 GPA, I think, something like that. I'd have to double check. But I was able to complete that, and I told myself I would complete that, and I pushed through no matter what I felt like, right? So my fitness and then my schooling, and then I stopped that. I started real estate, and so it's the same thing with real estate. Especially when you are 110% in control of your schedule. I could be doing anything right now. I could be scrolling on Instagram. I could be scrolling on TikTok. TikTok's my favorite, by the way. But I'm not going to be on it all day, and I'm not going to spend hours of it during the time that I know I have to be productive in some way, shape, or form. Even though I know deep down inside that I would feel a lot better just sitting on my couch or laying on my bed, just going through TikToks and forcing myself to call people, because that's what I personally do. I like to do cold calls. Nobody wants to cold call. Nobody wants to make phone calls. I wish business would come to me. Of course I do. Everybody wishes business. But then I wouldn't have built the person that I am today. And that's the thing, is you have to wake up and you have to trust yourself. And in order to trust yourself, you have to have discipline. So if you want to accomplish something and you want to become a big YouTuber, or you want to become super fit, or you want to be a good fighter, or you want to start a business, you have to trust yourself. You can't just do it without trusting yourself. And the only way to trust yourself is to be discipline. So if you start a habit and you want to keep that habit and you want to see where that habit is going to take you, whether it's working out, boxing, or, reading books, or whatever the case may be, is you make sure that you stick to that. Even if it's for 30 days, in the beginning, just to start small. First start with 3 days. I'm going to do this for 3 days in a row. Then I'm going to do this for, a week in a row. And then I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I stay consistent for a month. Then you will begin to develop that self-confidence that you can accomplish anything that you want. And it all starts with discipline.
Okay, Keno, I see.
Dreaming, talking in your sleep. I know you want to cry all night.